Texas. Hey, Josh Tovar, Principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland, ISD. Garland, USA, ready to rock and roll. I've had a great day, and it's just finishing beautiful. Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Josh, for doing this. And man, all those little refreshers about having crucial conversations, about relieving stress. You know what? I'm in the trenches. I'm right there, and we always need to be hearing this kind of stuff. It's crucial that as educators, we always have that little thing to remind us of why we're in our purpose, why we're in our why, and distress, because in the end, we're creating the best thing out there, the future of the United States. Our future products are a great melting pot. So let's rock and roll.
Yeah, you really do. You guys feel that energy, right? You guys feel it. Okay. And so in this time of night, when we've been on here for a while, this is what we need from you. So I love it. So tell people about the podcast. And guys, sometimes when I hear people say that, I don't want to pitch. I don't want to pitch. So that's not why I'm saying, tell us about your podcast. I'm asking Josh to tell us because he's got such great information. I want you to tell everybody why they need to listen to you guys. You have so much good stuff there. What do you cover?
Thank you very much. We are the anchor show to the Fantastic Four, and it's a combination of 4 shows that starts on Saturdays with Coach Hurt. He talks about data. Then we have Dr. Taylor and Dr. Houston, who have a system to turn around a campus. And the third show is Principal Cafele. I don't need to mention anything else about that. And we're the anchor show to the Fantastic Four on Sundays. Now we moved it up because it's football season, and we know football season, that's going to take priority. So we're at 5 p.m. Central. And pretty much I've always believed that this is a great way of supporting each other. The podcast, we've had 71 shows. You know, I'm not as good as Josh with 10,000 that he has right there, but I love his show, and I love your show, you guys that just created. But it's about everything. It's about getting experts in the field to ensure that we provide those free nuggets every single last day. And you are out there walking around, you're at the gym, you're doing whatever it is. It's free PD. It's free PD. For example, we just had an EB show, EL show. We just had a superintendent show. We're about to have a curriculum design show, because a lot of times we know that there's an exodus, Charlie. Josh, you know that we have a huge gaping hole. I still haven't hired 2 team members. I'm still missing them, and we're entering week 6. And it's this way to get those professionals to reach out and drop those tidbits of knowledge. And you know what? The Lord has blessed me a lot by making connections through this thing. People think of it as not as evil. No, it's not. It's how we use it to ensure that we connect. You know, I've had the honor of connecting with you, Charlie, with Josh, with Jonathan, so many people on the call, with Jamie Casas, with Joe Sanfilippo. They've been on that show too, with Dave Burgess. But we have to give voice to those people that we really don't look at within our field. We have cafeteria workers. We've had crosswalk employees. We have campus secretaries, the attendants. We've had everybody, bus drivers. They're the ones that greet our kids every morning. We have to give them a voice. They need to let us know what the look-fors are in their job, because you know what? They're holding the precious commodity known as their other people's children, the future of America. So it's about providing that 911, that 411, whatever 11 that you want to consider of information. Sometimes it's emergency because you've never done it before. So we just had a principals roundtable. And like I said, I've been able to get people from all over the country to come onto our show and provide that knowledge. So I really encourage you all to join us, part of the Fantastic Four on Sundays at 5 p.m.
That's awesome. And it's true. There's always like tidbits. You guys got get right into it, just like we like to do too. So I want to know from you then, what is like one go-to thing that you can help leaders? And when I say leaders, these are teacher leaders, like you lead your classroom, school leaders, mental health leaders, district leaders. What do you do to help start fostering that school culture, that positive culture? We hear it a lot. And I don't want anyone thinking this is BS. This is such a crucial part of mental health and well-being and behavior solutions. So what do you do? What do you always tell people to do?
Be consistent with your actions of celebrating success. It's about being successful by always promoting whatever it is, either small or big, always making sure that everybody in your home, I call it our home because that's where we live most of our academic day, our home, and provide everybody with that beautiful Polaroid shot of success, whether it be a teacher doing a great lesson, whether it be students of the week, whatever it might be, but making sure that we're out there and we are in their zone. Everyone's on social media. And it's about promoting the greatness that is the dedicated staff at your campus and your students. In my case, the Jaguars, right there. It's all the great things. Our school is comprised of 4 different programs from kids from all over the school, kids that are at risk. And you know what? We need to push and promote them to ensure that people see all the hard work that our team members are doing. So back to your original question is this: be consistent by promoting success. I don't know what it is. For us at our home, our team members do such a fabulous job that we always honor and have something every single last day, from Monday to Friday. It's a ritual. We finished our routines in May 23rd of last year, and we started the first Monday back. It never stopped. It's about having that pattern of behavior of success. And Charlie, just to let you know, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you don't show them that, both the adults and the kids, they're not going to work for you. They're not going to provide that vision of success. And you know, up until today, this is our 6th week, Charlie, and our home is such a beautiful place thanks to the adults on that campus, thanks to our Jaguars. You know how many disciplinary referrals we've had in 6 weeks? Take a wild guess.
30.
30.
I don't know.
Take off the 0.
Oh, what? 3? 3? That's it? That's really good.
3.
Wow.
And then you know what? I jinxed myself because I asked our Dr. Montgomery, our AP, how many do we have this year? Because I haven't really dealt with anything. You know, you have little side conversations. In the morning, we had 1, and then 2 kids misbehaved at lunchtime. Oh my, it's all right. It is what it is. Of course. But in the end, tell me, a school of 250 kids, a lot of them are at risk, you know. They come to us to finish and graduating, getting their diploma. I haven't had a fight in 4 years in one area. Kids that are 17, 18, 19 years old that come with all the things that come, you know what Jonathan was talking about? That's the type of student that we receive at Memorial. And you know what? They graduate with state requirements. And we don't have issues in regards to social media problems, none of that. Because we are surrounding them with love, with appreciation, with caring. And that's thanks to our awesome adults at that school that believe in what that is. Again, kids don't care how much you know, and adults don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's about establishing those patterns of behavior of success. The numbers are right there, Charlie. The numbers are right there. 3 kids, and I've got kids from 10 years old, 10, all the way to 20, turning 21 on the same campus. Wow. And they're all tier 3 individuals. They all require tier 3 interventions. And let me tell you, we're very successful because the second you walk in, we've had different districts from around the state of Texas. Last year, we had 10 of them come and visit us. And they're like, the second you walk in is the second you know there's something different at that campus. And it starts with the receptionist greeting them, our team members providing the greetings, the culture of the campus, of the procedures that we do. So back to your original question, you need to establish procedures of success. And as we all know, success breeds success.
Wow. Okay. So clearly I have this picture in my mind. I want to know that leader, that teacher who's like rallying around you for this, but not everybody in the building does. How do they start establishing culture to improve that culture within like the confines of people not always buying into it, or people who are just disenfranchised? What do you do?
Let's go back to session number 2 of your show, of your session to Superintendent Jones. You have to have those crucial conversations, whether you want to or not. That is the flaw, Charlie, in education and in leadership, because people choose not to have those awkward conversations. And I'm straight out about it. I will love you, I care about you, because you got to care of someone else's kid, but you cannot put your needs ahead of kids. You are guaranteed a paycheck. You're guaranteed insurance, not those kids. It is our job, especially at our home, that's all tier 3 students. So you need to have those constant conversations, and they might be awkward, but it's all right. In the end, I need to ensure that the vision is there for student success. So that's what it comes down to, Charlie, is that, like Superintendent Jones said with TJ, that we must have those conversations quickly and the moment that it happened. Still treating them as professionals, still treating them as someone that you want to have on board, and you work with them, especially if they're your hire. Especially if they're your hire. You hired them, the committee said they were good, so all of a sudden, they didn't turn around. Like Jimmy Casas always says, and he'll say tomorrow, that interview chair. They were the best version, and that's who we selected. What created for them to fall off of that interview chair? That mentality. So it's about having those conversations repeated and clarity. I think one of the guests said that earlier. I don't know. One of them said it's about always being clear with the expectations. I think that was the young man with Josh's podcast. He said about
yeah, go
he
ahead.
said about being clear of the expectations
Yeah.
and not people always respect that. People always respect that you're saying we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3, but in the end, it starts with me. It starts with the leader, with the chair. The chair has to set the tone by doing it above and beyond. You have to do it above and beyond and not be boastful about it because you're doing student success, but show your team members that, hey, I would not ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do above and beyond because that's my vision. So I need to role model it. So you need to role model the expectations, whether in the classroom, a SAC teacher. I was an ISS teacher, and I believe 100% with what Jonathan says. You have to reach out to that cat. He does a great job with his book and his program because it's about consistency. Again, being consistent in the ISS room, being consistent with your classroom, being consistent being an administrator, always having those conversations. You cannot leave anything in the gray area. And if you see something is going on, you got to face it. You got to confront it, Charlie, because in the end, it's that student that we need to prepare him to make him a success in this beautiful country of ours.
Wow. Okay. All right. So go back to the love for the kid. When a kid is talking back, when a kid has this tone of voice that we don't like, when the kid appears to be disrespectful and mistreating you and disrupting the classroom, how do you love a kid in a school who keeps showing up to your classroom and your building like that?
Big picture, it's the hallways, the bloodstream of the body. What are we establishing in the body to where kids feel comfortable in there? Because if they have anything, if an adult lets a kid, you know, when they have their hoodie over their head and they're just walking down, that's a big talk to me. Hey, habla conmigo, por favor. There's a problem here. I have an issue. So you need to be able to pull them. And our adults at MPA, we do a great job of pulling them to the side and having those conversations and establishing the patterns. And you know what? As you know, Charlie, especially in your field, every human being is a Rubik's Cube. Everybody. It doesn't matter if all the Jaguars that we have are tier 3, but they're still their own individual person. And you have a conversation, but again, another one of your guests said earlier, you still hold them accountable for their actions. And you don't show them what they're acting like. In other words, you don't go down to their level. My mom many years ago was a teacher. She's no longer with us. 30 years, all she dealt was with freshmen. 30 years, 9th grade freshmen. All right. So that was a powerful woman right there. And some of her advice to me was this: never argue with a child because then you become their age. Facts. Never argue with a child because then you become their age and they don't see you as someone of air quotes authority. So your question to me was, what is this? Is that? It's going to be depending on the situation and the relationship that I have with them. That's why it's crucial that we always establish that pattern right here. These are this week's cards I'm going to be sending out.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. All handwritten, you all. All handwritten.
See all these cards? They're about to go out.
And they're individual students?
Yes.
And what do you say?
We send out cards to kids that are enrolling at our campus, their birthday cards, kids that get student of the week, and kids that finish earn perfect attendance and finish online classes. It's that special touch right there to make sure that you show them, I see you. At that moment, I not be able to give you a high five or un buen abrazo, a big hug, but you know what? Take this card, know that I got your back because I love what you're doing in the classroom. I love what you're doing in our campus, and I love who you're becoming as an individual. Let me share a quick story with you right now. Today, I'm so full with joy, spiritual joy, because part of my students that we had, the ones that were really at risk, high age, low credits, when we get them, they're a little bit rough, like you stated. They're a little bit rough. They're used to being in schools in Texas with 3,000 kids, 2,700 kids. These are big schools, right? So these are the ones that would get lost through the cracks because of ditching, not going to school, not training whatsoever. So as we've gotten them, I finally took him to see, I don't know if anybody knows Chip Baker. He's a motivational speaker. And he said, I'm in the area. Do you want to bring some of your students And I go, sure, brother. Hey, I would love to. I've never done field trips with this group of students. And we did it. And Charlie, let me tell you, I almost cried. I'm not an emotional guy. I'm far from an emotional guy. But seeing their growth, seeing them become new individuals, they took notes. Charlie, they took
Wow.
notes during a motivational speaker. They asked questions. These are the kids that would walk around in these big schools with hoodies on, giving attitude to people, to adults, to the principal. Nuh-uh. They're new. And that's part of that climate. That's part of that culture to where, all right, Charlie, I hear you. Are you done? I tell the kids when they're having like their little rants, I'll say this, Charlie. You give me permission to talk? Can I talk? No, okay, go ahead.
Hmm.
And I just sit looking at them. I mirror them.
Hmm.
I go, can I have permission to talk? You know, remember, if you gave me permission, you can't interrupt me.
Hmm.
And that creates that rapport, that exchange. And because they've always told, shut up, you're suspended, go to ISS, I'll see you next week, you're further behind, you owe 14 assignments, just like Jonathan said. 14 assignments, you suspended me for 3 days. You know, all I did was play video games and what desk scrolling. I'm not going to do your work because I hate the system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a mentality. But you know what? That's exactly, it goes back to the original question, Charlie. What does the campus create? What does the administration create to make sure that kids feel accepted, heard, and comfortable at your school? And that's why I feel we do an effective job of MPA. And so, educator out there, you sitting in the chair, you wanted to be a principal. You begged, you pled for a second round of interviews. You said, please let me meet with the superintendent. And you got approved. So now establish that vision based on student need, not adult comfort. And once you do that, let me tell you, you got to stick to your guns, you got to stick to your vision, and everything will be there. You just got to keep on working it, working it. People need to see you at work and establish that. And at that moment, then Charlie and Josh, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, I live it. I just follow our school on social media. The receipts are right there. Every year, the last 3 years after COVID, over 90 grads, and up to last year's cohort, kids that came out of country from Afghanistan, from Central South America, who knew a lick of English, just graduated with all their credits, their CCMR certification. Now we're getting those kiddos, those babies, with TSI. So I'm letting you know that it can be done. The team members at Memorial Pathway Academy are doing it by establishing a culture of love, a culture of appreciation. And once you walk in there, it's a beautiful climate to where everywhere, all the walls say something about the kids or say something about our work ethic as educators. So just do that and you'll be fine. And no kid will give you sass. Well, they're gonna give you sass.
They're going to give you sass. Come on.
You just can't take it personal. Go to the 4 agreements. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, they will. They will. But okay. So let's go back to that then, because a lot of people say you still got to hold them accountable, but they don't know how to do that. So how do you do that? Show love, but still have this large system and keep it under control so we don't have this disruptive fights, so that we can keep it success oriented. So go ahead.
It goes back to the role modeling publicly, not shaming, not degrading, but showing that interaction even when we're not at odds with the situation. So pull the kids, everyone. Hey, we see that at football games. The coaches yelling at the player because they didn't catch the ball. They're coaching them. You always have to coach them. And as an educator, you need to establish your protocols. Again, remember the pattern of behavior, the patterns of behavior, the structures of your classroom. You can't give kids dead time because once you give them dead time, that's when the chaos starts. So, and you also need to coach. I need to have those conversations. So you see, I was about to talk to Josh. I was going to have an awkward conversation with him. I was going to tell him, Josh, you got to behave that, you got to get that class in check. No, you say, hey, Josh, I walked by your classroom. I heard a lot of things going on. Can you tell me about the project you were doing? I'm talking to the educator right now. Do you need any kind of support? And you need always come up with a support aspect of it. But you see, some people are not willing to do that, Charlie. You know that. There's some administrators are not willing to call it out.
Yeah.
And if you see that there's a need, if you see that there's an issue, if you see that the child is running to the iron, you have to stop it real quick because then it's going to get worse. So your question to me was, what if they don't know how to do it? Then you need to make sure that you're visible. Someone else said that. I think, was it TJ who said that? That needs to be visible. You need to be visible. In other words, administrators need to be visible in the hallways, in area, especially the problem area. That's where you need to be there. And if not, this is what I tell our team members. Hey, I'd rather you be preventive with the situation and let me know. Let me pull Charlie out. If she's being a little bit hard-headed right now, don't write her up. Just send her to me. I have time to discuss it with her. Let's talk about it before it becomes a classroom disruption, before it becomes a classroom referral. Text her, hey, can you talk to Charlie right now? She's kind of not focused, and we'll do that. Again, you're taking those steps, those preventive steps to treat the kid as a individual that you could talk down off the ledge and provide them the love and the support and give them the mirror. Take out the mirror like Kafela says. Look at yourself. Where are we at right now? So it's about having the conversations with the adults, being visible in the classrooms. Not only that, but being preventive or proactive, if you want to see it that way, with a discipline issue. I rather, as I tell all our team members, tell me beforehand, I'd rather turn off a match than a forest fire. Those are harder to turn off. So before the kid goes ballistic in your classroom, just say, hey, go see Mr. Tovar. I go, hey, you want to talk, bro, or you don't want to talk? No, I just need to cool off. All right. There you go. Sit right there in my office, sit in the couch. I have no problem with that. But once we're ready to dialogue, we need to talk about this. And if there's a consequence, I'm going to give you the consequence. So it's about, it all comes down to the interactions. And Charlie, you've been on so many podcasts. Josh runs a great podcast, and you hear it nonstop. Authors, national speakers, relationships. And all that leads into climate and culture.
Mm-hmm. It really does. And it's so important that we understand that. So I'm wondering, like, what is the next step? Because we want all the teachers to have that relationship. We want all the teachers to be able to say, oh, let me talk to them. Not here's the principal, because they're with the kids so much. How do we get the skills and the confidence that you have and get those to teachers as we wrap this up?
As we wrap that up, you create those celebrations that go throughout the campus. So every month, what we do is that our team members do this. I have a whole box right now that I need to mail. They mail cards to the kids. Especially say, focus on those individuals that are having a little bit extra challenge in your class. We also do positive referrals. The teachers write up the kid in a positive way. So I think I've already done, I think I'm at 100 phone calls. So the teacher will write up the kid for something positive. I will call the parent and I will let them know, hey, Charlie's in my office. What happened? They're doing fabulous. They're doing great.
Love it.
And then the teacher writes their name on the referral. So now the kid knows that the teacher, the administrator, has their back. So it's creating those different procedures, those different patterns of support and love, and always making sure that they feel it across the board. And twofold, the second part that we do is during PD, we address this as a collective, as a group. We always do this. We discuss it and we do, what are we going to do for this? What are we going to do for this? What are we going to do for this? And making sure that we all hear it out there, always based on student success.
I love that. I love that. I think it's so tangible and it's something you can do. And you guys, if your energy level is not up right now, then you're not here. Then you've just turned your camera off and you're not here. So, Josh, thank you so much for all the work that you do and for taking care of those kids and that staff of yours. Thank you so much. Texas is very lucky to have you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me on the show.